On this episode of System Integrators Weekly, we're taking a budget of $2,000 and comparing different system integrators to see who has the best system for that price point. We're hitting 2,000 subscribers. Thank you guys. Now it's a 2K special. Let's go, nerds. Hello everyone, I'm Braithorn. Welcome to System Integrators Weekly, where we're excited to announce a new upcoming System Integrators Weekly tie, featuring 3 to 4% increase in performance in system integrator reporting for the low price increase of about 40 to 50%. Boy, it's exciting. Since this video was recorded for June 20th, it's Father's Day for those who celebrate it, and we'd like to wish a very happy Father's Day to those dads out there who don't shame their kids for liking video games. For the dads that do shame their kids for liking video games, we have a special message just for you. Come here, just come a little close. Don't shame someone for having hobbies that you don't share. Grow up. See, I've even got my number one dad mug, because I am a dad. Well, that's weird. This isn't my number one dad mug. This one doesn't say number one dad. It says it's moose.com. That's weird. It's moose.com. What is that? Since you guys have been so enthusiastic about subscribing, we've shot up to almost 2,000 subscribers. We're like 20 away right now. So this is the 2K special. Now, what does that mean? We're going to be looking at several different system integrators with similar hardware at around $2,000, give or take $100. And we'll try to figure out which system integrator is going to be best for you if that's your budget. Now, of course, you can make slight adjustments to these to raise or lower the price if this doesn't fit within your budget. But around 2K is what we're going for the 2K special. And I've got a special announcement for you guys. Stick around till the end because this one is really cool and I'm very excited about it. Now, before we get into it, the all-important disclaimers. Okay, this was recorded on June 20th, 2021. Availability changes very quickly, so you may see some deals on here and some part availability that may change within a day. Now, if something does not show as available, that could actually become available within a day as well. Just keep that in mind when you're actually looking at this information as it pertains to you. Secondly, a lot of this is based on my opinion. Now, my opinions are formed after a long time in the tech industry and an even longer time as a custom PC enthusiast. So I hope to give you some helpful information, but you should make your own purchases wisely. So let's get into it. Before we go for the actual $2,000 price range here, I always like to look at iBUYPOWER's SameDayRDY systems. So looking here, we have price ranges from $1,049 up to $4,400. And around the $2,000 mark, we have a system here for $1,849 with a Ryzen 7 3700X and a Radeon RX 6700 XT. That's a very competitive card from AMD, and it competes, hovers between the 3060 Ti and the 3070, sometimes actually surpassing the 3070 in some benchmarks. Now, it doesn't do as well when it comes to ray tracing or video encoding. So if you plan on content creation or you're very interested in ray tracing for the number of games that are out there that use ray tracing, you're going to want to keep that in mind. But still, a very competitive system, just has terrible airflow. So just plan on either modding the case for yourself or doing a case migration. We are planning a case migration how-to video coming up here within a month or two. So keep an eye out for that if a case migration is in your future. Going down to their more budget option here, you're looking at just above $1,000, $1,050 for an Intel-based system with 11400F CPU and a GeForce GTX 1660 Super. This is a fantastic budget gaming system. And yes, I know, it's over $1,000. How is that a budget gaming computer? It's budget to mid-range, but the actual true budget gaming computer is a very rare, nigh extinct creature at this point. And the 1660 Super is a fantastic GPU. Plus the 11400F is a good processor for gaming as well. So this is a great jumping in point with some expandability down the road. I highly recommend it. And if your budget is sub $1,000, I highly suggest that you make that extra push to get to this price range, because this is where you start seeing real gaming performance. Okay? Also a terrible case for airflow, but again, you can migrate to a better case for airflow, or Well, you can't really mod this case very well, but you get the idea. And if your budget is higher, then, well, there's some options here for you. But if you have any questions or you want to do a custom system, don't forget that you can join the stream every Thursday to have one-on-one help from me to build you a custom system. And if you're looking at a price range of around $3,500 to $4,400, we can do better than this right here. The great thing about these, they are good. They're very, very good. And you get them in a few days. Right here, this is delivery by Wednesday, June 23rd. That's 3 days. That's ridiculous. So yeah, these are great. Keep that in mind. Now, moving on. This is a system that I built for $2,000 on iBUYPOWER. The system we're looking at here comes in at $2,059. So it's within that $100 plus or minus variance, right? Now, okay, it's a Be Quiet Pure Base 500DX. That's a great case for airflow. Fantastic case for airflow. And you're going to get it with a Ryzen 5 5600X. This is my favorite, well, it's hard to say. It's not really a budget gaming CPU, but it is the lowest price point for a Ryzen CPU, and it performs better than almost anything on the market when it comes to last gen stuff. This is like king of the hill for computers that are mostly for gaming. Okay, we upgraded to a 240mm all-in-one liquid cooler. And this system, I went ahead and upgraded it to the 3600 megahertz memory. Now, it's been shown time and time again that 3600 megahertz is the ideal frequency for RAM, along with the Zen 3 architecture in the Ryzen 5000 series processors. Yeah, so we got G.Skill Ripjaws 5, DDR4 3600 megahertz memory. It's actually mega transfers, but we'll skip all the details there. And we got this with an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060. This is the entry-level 30 series GPU. Now, this is where if your budget is higher than $2,000, you can make those big leaps in performance, okay? You can go up to the 3070 for $281, and you can go up to the 3070 Ti, don't do that, for $470. Now, their availability here shows that they have the RX 6700 XT from AMD currently available, with the GTX 1660 Super and RTX 2060 available immediately, and the 3080 Ti and 3090 from NVIDIA, so all those. If you want the AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT or 6900 XT, it's an extra 2 weeks lead time. Or if you want the 3060, 3070, or 3080, those are an extra 4 weeks lead time, with a 2 weeks lead time on the 3070 Ti. Lead times are estimates. They can go longer than that, they can be shorter than that. It depends on when they actually receive the GPUs. Now, the motherboard we're using here is the MSI B550A Pro. This is a pretty good motherboard. It includes the front panel Type-C port header, so that's going to work with the Type-C port that comes on the front panel of the case that we chose. But it does not come with built-in Wi-Fi. So to overcome that limitation, we went ahead and added on, for about $30, an Asus PCIe AX3000 dual band PCIe Wi-Fi 6. It's a Wi-Fi adapter, okay? And this thing has Wi-Fi 6, the current standard of Wi-Fi. If you look at some of the other motherboards that are just a little bit more that do come with Wi-Fi, those mostly come with AC Wi-Fi, which is the previous standard. This just means if you ever get yourself that nice AX Wi-Fi router, either on your own or from your ISP, then this is going to be compatible with that. Now, if you do not need wireless internet for your system, you can just remove that from the build and just go Ethernet. Beyond that, we went with a 650 watt Corsair RM650 power supply. It's fully modular, tried and true, and for the 3060 GPU, NVIDIA recommends a 550 watt power supply, so you actually have a little bit of headroom here on your power, so you can actually dip into some overclocking with that lovely 5600X. Going down to our storage. Now, it came by default with a 500 gigabyte Western Digital Blue with a read speed of 2400 megabytes per second and a write speed of 1750 megabytes per second. We upgraded to the 512 gigabyte ADATA XPG that does read times of 3500 megabytes and write times of 2,300 megabytes. So it's a better performing M.2 drive for only $12 more. And we went ahead and added a 2 terabyte hard drive. So I actually want to thank Kismayas for bringing up this dialogue because it's an important discussion. Yeah, it is going to perform better if you put all your gaming library onto a solid state drive. However, in my mind, the priority for spending your budget right now is to get the components that are unavailable or harder to find. CPUs are mostly available, but we're focusing on CPU and GPU. And so, because storage is available pretty much everywhere for a reasonable price. So what you do is you get the best GPU you can get, put your budget into the core components, and you can just add an SSD later on. It's one of the easiest upgrades you can do for your computer. You plug in a SATA 3 cable to your motherboard, plug it into the drive, and then you plug in SATA power into the drive, and you're done. That's it. It's super easy. And then you can just go into Steam and tell it, hey, add a Steam library right here, migrate all your games to that library. Onion rings. Good to go. So anyway, Kismayas, thank you for the comment. I'm gonna go ahead and call that the comment of the week, but it does pertain to the build we're looking at right now. And let's get back to that. Loading games from a spinning hard drive like this can take longer than on a solid state drive, even a SATA 3 solid state drive, which is way faster than this. However, gaming load times don't actually have much to do with FPS performance. Once your game is loaded, then it's up to your GPU and CPU to do all the work. I used to game off of a hard drive, and that is slower than an SSD, but it's also only about $60 to get 2 terabytes here. You can scroll right down here to the SSDs for your secondary hard drive and pick one of these. But as you can see, getting a 2 terabyte one actually adds $194 to the price. But thank you for commenting. I am honestly very thankful when I get comments like this, because if you feel like you don't agree with something I'm recommending here, please call it out, because it at least gives me an opportunity to explain my thought process in more detail, because none of this is really just plain thoughtless or anything. I actually do put a lot of thought into what I recommend. I try to. I want to be credible here. But I appreciate the insight. Thank you. Now, if you're going to come in and talk about how no one should buy iBUYPOWER because of the GamersNexus video, I have addressed that several times in previous videos. If you're new here and you haven't seen those, welcome. I hope you enjoy my videos. However, I did go over that in great detail, and I will go ahead and link to the timestamp for that video down in the description below, so you'll know exactly my stance on the iBUYPOWER and GamersNexus thing. Basically, it's sums up as: don't buy from a retailer, buy directly from a system integrator, because the experience is vastly different, better packing, you get the instructions, and everything ships much more cleanly with far less of a chance of any damage happening to the system like they experienced with that build. Now, moving on to CyberPowerPC, I actually have a pretty sweet build going on here. This one is at exactly $2,100. I know, but it comes in, first off, it comes in a Lian Li 011 dynamic. This is a beautiful case. Now, because this case requires a decent number of fans set up properly in order to get good airflow, we've done a couple of things, and I'll tell you what those things are. We went ahead and added 3 extra case fans. If there's certain ones that look better to you, you can choose those, but these were only a $29 upgrade. You could even go 20 bucks more than this and get a full 6 120mm fans, so they can do bottom intake, side intake, and top exhaust. Okay, but as long as you have one solid intake with 3 fans, either the side one or the bottom one, you're good to go. This, of course, has the Ryzen 5 5600X for the processor. And then for the cooling, we went ahead and went with, this is another thing we did just for that 011 dynamic, the CyberPowerPC Master Liquid Light 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler. So that means a guaranteed 3 extra fans as well. So that's, if you go with the 3 extra fans that I mentioned earlier and this all-in-one liquid cooler, you're looking at a total of 6 case fans, 3 for intake and 3 for exhaust, and you should be okay. Now, for the motherboard, we were actually able to go with a great motherboard. I went ahead and went with one that has built-in Wi-Fi. Okay, this does have built-in AC Wi-Fi. So if you want that AX Wi-Fi I mentioned earlier, they do have the Wi-Fi adapters, and you can switch to a non-Wi-Fi motherboard. But this is an Asus TUF X570 Plus gaming Wi-Fi motherboard, okay? And it's fantastic. It fits well with the case. And this is a tried and true motherboard for overclocking too, which the 5600X is an unlocked processor. You can overclock it to your heart's content. I use Ryzen Master for mine. It's really, really easy. It's one button overclocking, but if you want to do it manually, you can. For the memory, of course, we went with DDR4 3600 megahertz memory, and I went with the G.Skill Ripjaws. Now, what we're looking at again is a 3060. We're going for that 5600X plus 3060, RTX 3060 for the GPU that we're talking about. That's what we're going for most of these to fit in that $2,000 budget, okay? The reason we're doing that instead of something higher end is because that allows us to beef up the rest of the system and have a more balanced computer, okay? Now that does have an extra 2 weeks lead time, which is 2 weeks fewer than the one from iBUYPOWER. So good on CyberPowerPC for that. However, for availability, if you want, the cards that they have right now is going to be the RX 6700 XT if you want to go with a Radeon graphics card from AMD. They also have the 3070 Ti for a very hefty $460 price increase. So if you're around the $2,500 range, it's a good upgrade, but 3070 is more reasonable in price, and I would recommend that. It's just that it's an extra 4 weeks lead time. If you can choose the 3070 over the 3070 Ti, do that. They're charging well over $200 of a price increase to get it, and that doesn't really match up percentage-wise with the performance increase, okay? However, if you want it sooner, the 3070 Ti has no extra lead times on CyberPowerPC. Availability can trump value proposition any day of the week for some of you guys. So if you want it sooner and you got the scratch, you can go for the 3070 Ti. Plus the RTX 3080 Ti and 3090 are available, and they've got this AMD Radeon RX 6900 XT liquid cooled video card, although they don't really show it properly in here, so you have no idea what it looks like. But basically, it's like it has a water block on it going to a radiator and fan of its own. Very cool. Way too expensive. This it doubles the price of the computer just for the GPU. I don't recommend it. They've also got the GT 1030, don't buy it, and the GTX 1650. And they have the GeForce RTX 2060. However, it's only a $40 decrease in price to go from the 3060 to the 2060. And that's because this thing's got $50 off. So it's normally $10 more. Yeah, I think this is a well-balanced system already. We're going to skip past this. We're looking at the exact same PSU, the exact same power supply unit, the Corsair RM650, 80 plus gold certified, fully modular. Then moving on to our primary drive, we're looking at a 1 terabyte PCIe NVMe M.2 SSD, which was a free upgrade from a 250 gigabyte drive. Pretty sweet. And for your storage, I went ahead and looked at this. I went to all the work of seeing the highlighted free 2 terabyte hard drive and clicking on it, and it was free. So you could actually just go ahead and take that and add in, if you want, like if we do this 1 terabyte SSD, yeah, no, you lose that free one. Oh, you don't. You don't lose that free one. Ah, okay. So yeah, then this is today. So hurry up and go do this. But if not, you lose a 2 terabyte hard drive. That's about $50 anyway. It's not a huge deal, but yeah, a 2 terabyte hard drive is only about $35 right now for the Father's Day sale. Now, some of these Father's Day sales will not be there anymore, but so you're going to be looking at maybe a 5% increase in price later on in the week. I do apologize for that. I don't know when these sales started, but yeah, they're there right now, so it's valid. Now, if you want to go with that SSD for faster storage for your mass storage, you can do that, but as you see, the prices are higher. I would suggest the Western Digital Blue Series for $106, or the slightly faster one. You know, the speed differences aren't going to make a huge difference here. I would go for the Western Digital Blue, but that of course pushes us above our price variance, so we're just going to pick this one and that one. So that's 4 terabytes of storage. 4 terabytes of mass storage. If you're going to get into anything like content creation, trust me, you need mass storage. My drives are filling up very quickly. That's our system. Any changes you want to make, any slight changes you'd like to make, you can go ahead and do that. But Yeah, $2,058 in an 011 dynamic. We'll come back to this one. Next, we're going to go to NZXT BLD, otherwise known as NZXT BLD. Whatever, BLD. Do they want us to say NZXT BLD? It sounds like I don't know the alphabet. Like, you know when a kid's just learning the alphabet? That's what that sounds like. So looking at the build we have here, we have once again gotten very close to getting outside our $100 variance. We're looking at $2,088.90 USD. So the case that we're looking at is the NZXT H510 Elite. This does have some better airflow than you'll find in the H510. And if you want to go a little above that $2,100 max that we were looking at, you can spend an extra $20 to get the H710i, which has better airflow. It has better ventilation on the front panel and top panel for intake and exhaust on both sides of the case. Plus its larger volume on the inside allows for better expandability later on. Still, the H510 Elite is beautiful. It's a beautiful case and has better airflow than the H510. Now, the other option is to get the H510, save some money right here, $80 actually, and then just plan on doing a case migration. And another reminder, we're going to be having a case migration how-to video coming out in a month or two. The motherboard we're going with is the MSI B550A Pro. This is a good motherboard. It has no big drawbacks to it in any way. Also, the X570 Phantom Gaming 4 is sold out, which is fine. The X570 Aorus Master Wi-Fi ATX is very expensive, and the X570 Taichi Wi-Fi is also pretty expensive. So this is probably your best bet right here, and it stays within our $2,000 budget, give or take $100. We're going, of course, with the Ryzen 5 5600X. The RAM, we actually had room to upgrade to the G.Skill Trident Z Royal RGB 3600 MHz, which again is ideal for Ryzen 5000. Power supply is the NZXT C650. I use a C850 in my system. They're very solid power supplies, fully modular. And we went with the 1 terabyte Samsung 970 EVO Plus, and we added a 1 terabyte Western Digital Blue 3D NAND SSD. So you're going to be able to put your game library there, and it's going to be faster than a hard drive for a game library or any mass storage that you have. Now, if you have a little more flexibility in your budget, you can always change that to a 2 terabyte, and that would bring the price up to $2,208. For the GPU, we went with the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 EVGA XC Gaming. So you actually get to see what 3060 you're getting. Thank you, NZXT. And for the cooling, we upgraded to the 280mm Kraken X63 all-in-one liquid cooler. So there you go. That's a sweet build right there. Like, this system right here is enviable. This is a very good system. And NZXT reportedly takes like 2 to 3 weeks to get their systems shipped out. So that's actually not too bad at all. All right, proceed to checkout. Is it all there?
Nope.
I checked this like an hour ago. There. Take that off. Go here. Just 1 terabyte. I prefer the 9. Oh, they don't have the 1 terabyte in that one either. That's cool. Just $18.90 US. Okay. All right. Cool. Just go H510, just get extra fans or a different case. There you go. $2,038.90. Done. Let's go. Now, let's go to Build Redux. This one's already done. There you have it. This system is $2,024. What do we get? Ryzen 5 5600X, second verse, same as the first, all of that. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070. What? That's not a 3060, huh? That's weird, huh? I don't know what's going on there. That's like a whole 10 plus. The 3060 plus 10 is a 3070, right? Yeah, we got under $2,100. We got around $2,000 with a 5600X and a 3070. 16 gigs of DDR4 dual channel RAM. They do use 3200 megahertz RAM, and you cannot change that. But RAM is an easy upgrade later on down the road. You can upgrade to 3600 megahertz if you feel the need, but this is 3200 megahertz CL16, so it does carry similar performance to the 3600 megahertz, but it's not optimized, and you're leaving some performance on the table when it comes to Ryzen 5000 series. Just putting that out there. 1 terabyte NVMe M.2 drive did not add any extra storage to this, but you can add a 2 terabyte hard drive for very little money. Now, quick question, Build Redux, how much does this cost with a 3080? Oh look, it's $2443. Those of y'all out there who are like, I got $2,500, what's the best system I can get? There's your answer. Sub $2,500, 5600X, RTX 3080, and they have it right now. If your budget is, say, $1,700 or $1,800, get a 3060. Or you want a 1660 because your budget's around this, it's just whatever. I mean, actually just get this one instead. I mean, that's not much of an increase. And they have them right now. And there's no extra lead times, and it's awesome. This is why so many people, when Build Redux has inventory, during the Thursday streams, which by the way, I stream every Sunday and Thursday at twitch.tv/Brayathorn. And on Thursdays, I help people one-on-one with custom computer builds. When Build Redux has inventory, they are the darlings of those streams. Like, people love these because you get the TD500 Cooler Master case, which is pretty much guaranteed airflow. It comes with 6 case fans, all matching, with a push-pull configuration on the 240mm AIO that you get by default, and it's just a great system. And they're owned by Digital Storm, so they're not going anywhere. Here's one that I can very highly recommend as well. This is another system where you get it with all the fans you need, with an all-in-one liquid cooler. You get a very high airflow case as well. The Corsair cases are excellent right now. They are going off. However, there's not much customization you can do here, okay? But guess what? All the usual suspects: Ryzen 5 5600X, GeForce RTX 3060 Ti, which nobody else seems to have or even promote anymore, but performance very close to a 3070, just not quite there. 16 gigs of DDR4 3200, a little upsetting because Corsair makes 3600 megahertz RAM and they don't offer it in any of their builds. Interesting. 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSD, also made by Corsair, and Windows 10 Home, and it says add to cart, meaning they have all those parts in stock right now. And if you want more information, just go to Corsair.com and click on Gaming PCs right here. Go to Vengeance Gaming PCs. So which one is best? That's really tough. I mean, Build Redux is really cool because they have a 3070 in here for the same price the other systems had 3060s for. However, you can't choose your motherboard, but you basically get one of 3 decent X570 motherboards with this setup here. But if you change your processor to like a 3600, Ryzen 5 3600, or to an Intel one, I mean, it automatically changes the motherboard. Let us pick the motherboard ourselves. You get wireless built in with it for $30, fair. You don't get to choose your power supply. It just says 850 watt ATX 80 plus gold. It doesn't say whether it's modular or not. It probably isn't, or else they would advertise that. You don't get to choose your cooling, although the cooling is good. It's not as customizable as I would like, but that's also kind of the idea with Build Redux. This is definitely first or second place, just because of the specs that you get with this. Okay? I mean, hands down, the 3070 is going to beat the pants off of a 3060. Do you need a 3070? If you're doing 1080p gaming, mostly, then not really. You can do a 3060 and be just fine. If you're doing 1440p gaming, you're going to do very well with the 3070 and even some 4K gaming. But if you like the way NZXT systems look, and you like the company, and you like the fact that these tell you the brands of all the things you're getting, then this is the best one for you. Now, between the iBUYPOWER custom system and the CyberPowerPC custom system, I would recommend the CyberPowerPC custom system. They have a shorter lead time. Don't mind that this says right here Ultra 3070 Ti. That's just the one that I clicked on and then I edited it, okay? But yeah, ignore the fact that this system says that. We just changed it to a 3060, but it has a shorter lead time of 2 weeks added on to the custom build time. Plus, it has a freaking cool looking case. So yeah, O11 dynamic or 011 dynamic, however you want to say that. Plus the fans to cool it properly. We could, you know what? Let's actually max that out. Bam. 6 120mm fans with a hub and remote controller, so you can change them that way. I believe the hub can also be made to have you control it through the motherboard software. This thing is pretty beastly. It is. I mean, it's going to be huge and beautiful and display your components beautifully. I mean, you've seen the O11 dynamic, right? Like, it's everywhere. It is a little bit overused, but I mean, hey, I'm pretty sure the View 51 that I have was designed after it. They just decided to put some giant fans at the front instead of just leaving it all glass. Now, here's the announcement I was talking about. 2,000 subscribers. I cannot believe you guys. I put up the first SIW video on April 7th, and I had like 75 subscribers. I waited 2 weeks to put up the next one, or a week and a half. And after that, it gained traction, and just, if y'all are here and you're gonna say, I'm looking at your stuff and I can't believe you don't have 1 million subs, which those comments are so nice. Like, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. If things continue as they've been going now, just give me a little bit, because they seem to be going up very quickly. So what am I gonna do to thank you guys? Well, here's what I want. If you made it to the end of the video, here's what I want you to do. Show it by saying 2K, let's go. All right? Because by the time this comes out, we're not quite at 2K just yet, but by the time it comes out, we probably will be. And all the comments that say 2K let's go will be put, I will take your usernames, put them into a randomizer, and the person, I'm gonna do this in 1 week. 1 week from today. So that's gonna be announced in next video, the next System Integrators Weekly. We're gonna do that drawing then, and whoever's name comes up, you're gonna get a 45-minute Discord call with me where I help you build a PC one-on-one, no distractions, like for the guys that do it on stream. All you guys have been so patient on stream. Thank you so much, because I get distracted, ooh, shiny, and I see something, and then I get back to the build. No, this is a straight up one-on-one call on Discord where I will walk you through building a custom PC to your exact budget and your wants and needs. Okay, this is a service that I've heard some YouTubers will like provide for like $200 for a 30-minute call. Yeah. So plus, if we get your build done really quick, we'll just chit chat, maybe play a game or something, whatever. Go ahead and comment below 2K, let's go, and I'll know that you're in the running for that. Because guess what? People who didn't make it to this part of the video, they're just gonna be like, wow, everybody's saying the same thing for some reason. Thanks for joining in again, and I will see you guys next Sunday. And until then, take care.